Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Double us to the elder apostles, the great millstone of rule one. Shalom to the brothers of the wax, in truth. Um, yeah, got this article on the Mail talking about that Neuralink again, and it's been like a big push, like the last month or so again, just kind of highlighting it, and it's something that a lot of people is in general public sphere is something that people are kind of expecting with any sort of system anyway, because movies like cyberpunk movies or any kind of futuristic movie, these things have already primed them in their mind to kind of expect these things, and they really think it's going to be to their benefit with these technologies. So I read into it a bit and then just kind of break it down. So it says, paralyzed woman reveals shocking effect of Elon Musk's Neuralink brain chip. It says, what a woman who has been fully paralyzed for the last 20 years has regained the ability to use a computer, marking a world first for Elon Musk's Neuralink. Thanks to Neuralink's revolutionary implant, Audrey Cruz revealed on X how she's able to write her name on a computer screen. I tried writing my name for the first time in 20 years. I'm working on it, LOL. And yeah, these are the things, like this is the current angle. The main angle is humanitarian, where it's like, oh, someone who's had their body jacked up through an accident or through whatever, now, they've not been able to talk. They were able to communicate previously, but now that's something, it's a miracle granted by Esau that's given back those faculties, or ability to access some faculties so they can kind of express themselves or whatever, and utilize technologies. And that's something that people have looked at worse, like, yeah, as far as they're thinking, it'll get to a point where you'll be able to reinforce your body so you'll never break a bone. You'll be able to upgrade your brain so you don't get dementia, it doesn't get worn out, and then whatever, the shit you see in the $6 million man, those are things that you're going to see in people. That's an expectation of normalcy that's kind of been put there because they always talk about, technology is always developing, or kind of, looking to do these things. And then, the biological side where they might have different forms of gene therapy or whatnot to kind of heal other things. These are things that people just expect. So it's not really a marvel that this has kind of been pushed out and been embraced. People are thinking, oh, get to the point where, there'll be robots and whatever. You won't even need to do any work. You just lie around. Then the sex robot's going to be giving you that chrome dome. And then you just, you're going to have an IV drip of nutrients into your body. You're just going to, with your VR headset on, just living in the metaverse. These are the things that people are kind of looking at and looking forward to. But, as far as with those things, it'll reach up to a point. Because, like you said, it's like, even with this, got a picture down here of her with it jammed in her brain, man. Like, that shit got ripped open and they jammed that shit in. So it's not, these things, it's happening as far as, when it goes to prophecy. This thing's come to pass. It's in the midst. It's really just a matter of it being mandatory. That's what's not, that's in the wings. So it's using a BCI brain-computer interface. The implant recipient chose a purple-colored cursor pen to write the name Audrey on the screen in cursive script. The Louisiana resident was severely injured in a car accident at the age of 16, damaging the C4 and C5 vertebrae in her neck and leaving her a quadriplegic with no feeling in her arms and legs. The Neuralink procedure installed a small quart-sized device on Cruz's motor cortex this month, letting her control a computer with her mind. In her posts on X following the surgery, Cruz revealed how she was able to draw pictures, write words, scroll with a mouse, and use a keyboard all through the power of a mind. So yeah, these things that people are gonna be looking at, and they have like the video down here. Let me turn that off just so I don't get copyright on it. But yeah, she's using the Neuralink, probably just the training on Reflective. I think it's the same shit they had the monkey doing. It seemed like it was moving the mouse. Then they unplugged it. It was actually where they had it jammed in his brain, and was utilizing it. So yeah, these it's already doing work. What they say? So it says in a post on that, it says, responding to the positive feedback she received on social media, Cruz said she felt liberated, and she even started taking requests on what to draw next, as the pictures act as practice for her while using the implant. And yeah, so it's people looking like this is a great miracle. It's a great wonder that's been done on the earth. Because like, damn, even if you get paralyzed, you get fucked up, there's still going to be means. People are thinking, okay, you jam one and then you're going to be able to enhance your thought processes, bring back, record memories. Like, what's the season 1 of Black Mirror, where they have it, where they're recording memories, and then they have the little, I can't remember what the name of it, the seed or something, and then they'll roll back and be able to relive memories and whatnot. But all these, that's the thing, it's like all science fiction feeds into that idea of what's it called, that future of like technology fulfilling every need, want, and desire. And no, none of the you ain't gonna get cancer no more, you ain't gonna stub your toe, you're not gonna get a mental illness, because technology is gonna solve everything. And then even the thing is that's dealing with people, in the flesh. Technology can't even deal with the constructing something that can resist certain natural disasters. They can't even deal with engaging with certain systems without destructive elements to it. So how is it the flesh, which is a whole system unto itself, that's already it's done, it's all good, man. There's just a relationship you need to have with it to maintain it. How's that gonna be perfected by Esau? Of course it's not. But these are the things, that's the allure, that's the draw, that's what's got people invested. It really has people invested. Draw hearts, flowers, rainbows, blah blah blah. So let's say so it says Musk also replied to a post about Cruz's story, saying she's controlling her. So a bit further down, she's controlling her computer just by thinking. Most people don't realize this is possible, and that's something people head at. They think like, damn, it's like telepathy. That's like a superpower, which it's basically dealing with electrical signals in the brain, which is something you already know. It's where you could take someone's brain, cut off the top and zap certain areas, then the arm's gonna get all stiff. Like, those electrical signals aren't really a mystery, but then these are things where it's like there's a certain degree of ingenuity to it, obviously, but it's the level that people are thinking where it's like, okay, you're gonna download your brain, or you're gonna be you're gonna enhance, download images from Google. It's like, okay, what's it, The Matrix, where it's like you can be downloading jujitsu, kung fu, Wing Chun into your into your brain, and you're just gonna be like just do it, come on. These are the things but that's that's the allure. That's one of the angles by which they'll get people to jump on it. Because I read this Revelation 13 and 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And then with America, with the atomic bombs on Japan, and then in Yugoslavia with NATO and the EU. And it says, what, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So yeah, deceive them on the earth by the means of the miracles. And that technology is a big aspect to those miracles, man. That's a big draw, a big allure of what has people in awe of Esau. They're thinking like, this guy's got, he's got the internet, he's got smartphones, he's got network technologies. He's got GPS. He's got sky satellites, space satellites. He's got missiles. He's got planes. He's got boats. How can you compete? This guy's technology is able to engage with the earth in a way where it's like, if you're just a dude walking around, they're gonna make you cease to exist, man. They're gonna disintegrate, every fucking thread of an atom, binding your body together, man, with some missiles. That's really what people are looking at and thinking like, damn, this guy's gonna have technology to where, you're gonna be able to get a replacement liver. You're gonna be able to grow an extra liver, and if you get thingy, you have an issue, you do that. You're gonna be enhancing your muscle mass. You're gonna be able to grow your heights, be 18 feet tall. These are the things that people are thinking Esau's gonna achieve. Because why? One, he said it, and then he's like, we'll just try and do this. But in a lot of these technologies, you see like what it's like quantum computing. There's a YouTube video I saw recently. It said like quantum computing is more or less like a scam at this point, because they said as far as for like the hardware, there's been some development in it, but then on the software side, to actually utilize the theory of quantum computing, there's been like no progress in fucking years, and it's not looking feasible anytime, even within this generation. But then that's something that's being pushed as like, quantum computing, you get this, all the forms of security now are gonna cease to be useful. All these different forms of blah 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 technology now are gonna be completely outstripped in a processing power on a superhuman level, And it's funny as well, because I think the whole point of quantum computing is like, you're meant to have a bit in like 3 separate states at once, and then but then the thing they can't even do is observe the state that the fucking bits are in. so the first fucking step hasn't even been achieved, which is but then that's a lot of Esau shit, man. It's like it's they they'll spin you a good yarn. They'll spin a real good story. That shit will sound convincing and appealing as fuck. But then you get down to brass tacks. People put billions into it, and it's like, okay, what have you achieved? It's like, not much. But the faith people have within it, that's a big part of it. Because Isaiah 30:1, it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. The walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves and the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And yeah, that's something a lot of these Jake do. They're basically completely reliant on and trusting within Egypt, man, within this system, within this rule. They're thinking Trump's gonna save them. You know, they're thinking America, the American economy will save them. They think Liaba is gonna save. You know, these guys are completely completely lost, man. They're bugged out. But then, you know, that's the role they need to play. And then when you go to the general world, most people are wandering after the beast, man. They're like, you know, who's like onto the beast? Who can contend with him? They're just, you know, drooling at the mouth, salivating at what they see going on within Esau's realm, desiring it for their lands, man. Completely bugged out. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And yeah, because that's the thing, as these prophecies put that vice grip around this place, it's going to be playing like, damn, like what's going on? How can we, and the thing is it's real. Well, even with Matthew 24:38 on down, it tells you, you know, be eating, drinking, marrying and giving in marriage. You know, they're basically going to be enjoying life onto the end. So for those enjoying life, they might just be thinking like, oh, fuck it, well, you know, what can it be? And then it would just be like, wait, why are missiles flying? No. Why is there UFOs? No. You know, they're going to be bugged out. Because why? As far as to them, it's something that they really, at no point were given serious expectations or thought to those things coming. But then it's you know, gonna be complete confusion to their doom, man, to their demise. But then even for the elite, man, what does it say? Job 20 and 22 says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And yeah, the fullness of his sufficiency, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. So yeah, as far as with, you know, that hunger, that starvation, those things that he's trying to accomplish, these plans, you know, he's going to be able to pull them off to a certain extent. Because as I said, when he's about to fill his belly, so he's going to have the meal set, man. The table's going to be set. And, you know, Mark's going to be part of it. He'll be able to make it mandatory, or have people in droves running up to get it, man. Dragging their husbands, their wives, their youth, them to get it. Because why? The crisis, you know, the time of Jacob's trouble will be pushed that far. But then what? The fullness of his rule as the elite desire, that's not going to come to pass. They're going to get, you know, up to a certain point, but then they're not going to get the fullness of it. Because why? Prophecy, man. When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, terrors are upon him. And yeah, it's going to be where all that glory, so-called, that was within Esau's realm, all that hope and you know, belief that, okay, yeah, this is going to, you know, this was like he's set, that's all going to go out the window. And that faith, you know, within Esau's system, it's going to be shown for what it is, man. Confusion and lack of understanding. You know, you trust in this guy where you can't, you know, he can't even, you know, how's he meant to maintain his system? He's part of his plan is to destroy his own rule, man. If Satan be divided against himself, how then shall his kingdom stand? A good question. And then you're sitting there thinking like, oh, you know, that's the guy I'm going to throw my lot with. But, you know, is what it is, man. These, you gotta have people downward. You gotta have people looking at the mirror like, ooh, ah, and then jamming that in their head, and then getting destroyed, man. It must needs come to pass. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom.